Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share something with you, and let me be crystal clear to leave an everlasting impact. Just imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You don't know how to get out of that coffin. You try lifting the lid, but the enormous weight upon the lid prevents you from opening the lid. You then try banging on the lid to unsettle the dirt. Maybe somebody might dig their way down towards you to help you. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help. You don't know where to turn, but you know that you want to find help right now before it's too late. You just think you're going to die in this coffin. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, did it ever cross your mind that maybe, just maybe, you might overdose by abusing drugs and alcohol and take something away that God had given you called life? And if that is okay by you, what about taking your life away from the people that love and need you most? People like your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, husband, or wife, your children, and your grandchildren. With that, let me leave one last thought. Don't be like the person I'm reading about on these index cards that waited and waited until it was too late to get help. Instead, pick up the phone and call me at 844-405-HELP, and I promise you I'll help you take your life back before your life is gone. Call Larry Geis, addiction recovery coach, life coach for over 30 years. 516-458-2741. When Larry Geis and I tell folks like you, it doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter where you've been. What matters is that you're here today looking for a better today and a better tomorrow. Call Larry, 516-458-2741, or go to his website, www.odysseyconsultant.org. Don't forget to take your slippers off at night and leave them by, instead of leaving them by the edge of your bed, put them directly under your bed. In the morning, when you wake up and God allows you to see the water fall and the water stream behind me, you'll have to retrieve those slippers. Remember, you put them under your bed last night. While you're on your knees, utilize something I called Knee-mail, K-N-E-E-mail. Knee-mail is your communication line between you and God. It could be done with any words that come out of your heart. Usually I try to practice things as, God, thank you. God, thank you for giving me a home, clothing, food. God, I ask you for mercy and forgiveness. I ask you for guidance and direction. I ask you to bless myself and my family and bless the world. When you're done with your email, your communication words from your lips to God's ears, stand straight up, put those slippers on, and walk with God. Walk with God 24/7. Today, is it okay to talk to your loved ones or talk to the grave of a loved one that passed, like my mother passed about 3 months ago? Love doesn't end when another person's breath does. At the time when we're hurting, let me just fix this a little better. There we go. At the time when we're hurting, the last thing we need is someone chastising us for talking to our lost loved ones. If you find yourself uncertain, here are a few thoughts that I wanted to share with you. Death is a delicate subject. Remember that. No one can tell you how to grieve, and none of us knows much about what happens after we die. In John 13:33, Jesus says the following: "Where I am going, you cannot come," reinforcing the separation between this world and the next world. At the same time, he reassures us in John 14:2. "In my Father's house are many rooms. I'm going there to prepare a place where our departed loved ones have a better, eternal home." Realistically, this isn't enough, and we seek ways to comfort ourselves. One means that many people use is talking to the person who had just died. Is that okay, you might ask? Yes, it is. Love doesn't end when another person's breath does. At the time when we're hurting, the last thing we need is for somebody chastising us for talking to our loved ones. So I say to you, here are the thoughts. Your words reach God. Listen to these words. Your words reach God's. Hence what I spoke about in the beginning of this segment about knee-mail. When you're on your knees, you speak to God, because the words that come out of your mouth, from your mouth to God's ears. Don't flagellate yourself for talking to someone you love and miss. God's there right beside you as you speak. He hears what you're saying and will pass the message on to your loved one. Your words of pain reach the great Comforter, who comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves have received. And that's in 2 Corinthians 1. There is no need to fear. A fear of spiritism can cause people to critique you. There's a difference between talking to a person no longer physically with us and seeking their counsel, with the latter being something that we are definitely instructed to avoid. Some well-meaning people, or sometimes they're just nosy, may be concerned that you are overstepping the line. Do not turn to mediums or seek out spirits, for you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord, your God. Leviticus 19:31. Seek God's counsel. While talking's fine, seeking wisdom from this person or praying to them for answers isn't wise. In addition to the words from Leviticus, God tells us in Exodus 23, "You shall have no other God before me," meaning that He and He alone is the one that we should worship, seek guidance from, and pray to. Scars will remain. But you know what? Here's the good news. Time heals wounds, although scars generally stay visible. When grief is fresh, we are more likely to talk to the departed. But as time goes by, my friend, we need this less and less. That is the miracle that God works through us. It's hard to keep up with a conversation with someone who can't converse back. And the only one from the spiritual world with whom we can do this is the Almighty God. Connect with others grieving. Remember the living. We'll never stop missing someone we loved, and it's absurd for people to suggest that that is so. At the same time, there are others who knew this person as well, perhaps are hurting as much as you are, and we can find solace in one another by grieving together. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as the fact you are doing. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Don't add guilt to grief. When something no longer works, move on. At some point, you'll find yourself talking less and less to your loved ones and more about them. We do not disappear completely from this earth when our body does. God described himself to Moses as the following: the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Exodus 3:6. Despite these men being long dead on earth, God spoke to them as if they were still alive, not only in the other place where we can't go yet, but in the hearts, minds, and memories of the people still living on earth. Death is a horrible thing, and it wrenches the lives of those left behind. If talking to a person lost helps, let it be, and don't add guilt of burden and grief. So you can talk to your departed loved one, but through God only. Speak on your knees, use an email, speak to God each and every day, and may God bless you.